The snake temple, built in 1850 and known well beyond the region, is one of a kind, with its multitude of snakes that slither between sacrificial tables and prayer lamps and are revered by the devout. Surrounded by the wafting smoke of incense, it is an especially mystical place for the visitor. In contrast to it is the Thai temple where the great golden Buddha rests. Across the way, the Burmese temple with its impressive filigree architecture, a place of worship of impressive beauty. On the island, there are many points of interest for the tourist. One of the newer sites that demonstrates a solicitous love of animals and close ties to nature is, for example, the Penang Butterfly Farm, where one can see the Malaysian winged wonders. Thousands of butterflies in an almost natural habitat with a waterfall and a pond. The grounds cover nearly 400 square meters. It is very seldom that one has the chance to see so many different kinds of butterflies on such a small space. The close bonds with nature and the love of animals can also be seen with a visit to the Marine Aquarium in the Comtar building in the center of Georgetown. The underwater world of the tropical seas is presented here. Because of the proximity to the sea, mostly fish and corals from the Indian Ocean are on display here. With its motto, "See the underwater world of colorful fishes," the Marine Aquarium on the 4th floor of the Comtar building is a meeting point frequented not only by tourists. One of the leading aquaristics businesses in Penang can be found at the foot of the Comtar building, a business and office complex with a packing garage and a large hotel. While caring for and breeding aquarium fish is becoming a more and more interesting hobby for the Malaysians as well, there appears to be a bright future for businesses specializing in aquaristics. Aquarium Garma is such a business. With its large and varied range of fish and accessories, even spoiled customers can be satisfied. Most of the fish offered here are native to Africa and South America. Fish native to Asia are comparatively rare. The fish offered here are almost exclusively out of breeding stock from Bangkok and Singapore. On the average, there are 40 to 50 different species offered for sale. It is an incredible diversity, considering that aquaristics is at the beginning of its development in this country, and nevertheless ranks higher in popularity than the intensive keeping of and caring for pedigree dogs and cats. Aside from the well-known koi, albino fish such as the blood papagai cichlids from Taiwan are very popular. Generally, it is a smaller fish with a length of up to 8 centimeters that are very much in demand. The relatively low price plays an important part. They must also be colorful and easy to care for. Mainly dry food in many different variations, but mostly in the form of pellets, is being fed. But live food such as tubifex is often for sale too. A wide range of products for the successful care are being offered for sale, mostly products of Malaysia or Taiwan and Hong Kong. Because of the comparatively high prices, very few products are imported from Germany and Japan. In regards to aquatic plants, aquaristics in Malaysia still plays a subordinate role. To this day, there is no alternative to plastic plants for many aquarists. Accordingly, a large assortment of them are offered for sale. There are plastic plants in all types and sizes. Their forms and colors have been expertly copied, very much to the pleasure of Asian aquarists. Plastic plants are easy to care for, and at least they cannot die, is the argument that is often heard even today. but there also may be a lack of information about ecological aquaristics with real aquatic plants. It is also possible that real aquatic plants cannot be sold with a profit, for who is going to buy aquatic plants when they grow in every stream in the area? There are approximately 15 shops for aquaristics in Penang. The Chu Ten Yang Aquarium is one of the pioneers in this field. This long-established specialty shop offers one of the largest selections of species. Typical for regions with a tropical climate, it is outdoors, and therefore it is subject to the daily weather changes. An outdoor aquarium shop, something unusual for visitors from more temperate climates. In Penang, not all aquaristics are the same. While a large number of fish lovers keep ornamental fish as an entertainment, there are also people who attend to one special fish species. Although discus fish are cared for everywhere in Malaysia, it seems that they can be found most frequently in Penang. The first discus came to Penang from Singapore. First, the brown ones were introduced, then the so-called seven colors, and then later, the royal discus. Discus fish have been bred in Penang since the beginning of the 70s. Today, the island is one of the most successful discus breeding centers in Asia. There are approximately 90 to 100 small and 5 or 6 big breeding facilities. Because of the climatic conditions, most of the breeding facilities are on the ground floor and are enclosed to ensure enough shade. Because Penang has a typical tropical climate, there are no difficulties with temperature when keeping discus fish outdoors, as opposed to Hong Kong. Even the small breeders in Penang have mostly larger facilities with a corresponding number of aquariums. What began with a few old aquariums with iron frames has been quickly modernized. For the most part, the turquoise or the royal blue variations are in circulation as breeding stock for discus fish. Nauplia from Artemia salina, which can be bred from eggs in old beverage bottles without any trouble and then usually poured directly into the aquarium along with the salt water, is fed to the fry in the first few days. Many breeders feed adolescent and larger animals with tubifex, which have been watered extensively in bowls or tubs, often under running water and with ventilation. In Penang, the importance of a good water quality, that means the constant removal of excrement and food residue for the health of the fish, and a good development was recognized long ago. The breeding and rearing facilities here are, unlike in Hong Kong, nearly always connected to residential buildings, and for protection against the often scorching sun, are well shaded. House and discus rooms make up a unit. The large facilities with several hundred aquariums are also constructed as an annex to a residential building. There is no separate lighting for the aquariums. The natural lighting that in part comes from transparent roofs has to suffice for observation, for work, and for breeding and care. The water changes are generously made by using voluminous water hoses. With the help of a system of distribution pipes, there is always enough air for the oxygen enrichment of the water. Piggyback filters, similar to those used in Hong Kong, are also used here to improve the water quality. For the fry, freshly hatched nauplia from Artemia are the smallest live food on the menu. Surprisingly, larger animals are fed lots of tubifex that have previously been soaked extensively in water. It is a food that discus fish like to eat, and when it comes from clean and unpolluted waters, they can eat it without damage to their health. Nevertheless, one should be careful. One of the largest breeders in Penang is Teok Ben Chai. His farm, which lies south of Georgetown, is also kept in an annex to the house, whereby the breeding pairs are kept in the house. Mr. Teok breeds selected pairs. He calls his special fish Brilliant Blue, but he also breeds other colour variations. The breeding tanks have no fittings whatsoever. There is also no spawning substratum such as clay vases, rocks or plastic pipes. Therefore, the animals spawn directly onto the glass. The water used for breeding comes directly out of the tap and is not processed. Apparently, the water is soft to middle hard. The breeders generally do not know the exact data. Only the pH value is measured frequently and lies between 6.5 and 7.0. It is not exactly the ideal water for discus breeding. As a result, the hatching rate is not especially high. Because often up to 80% of the eggs become infested with fungus, and to protect the few developing embryos from being eaten before they hatch, the clutch is covered with a coarsely meshed wire, so that the parent fish can see their eggs and care for them by using the water movement, but it is impossible for them to eat them. The wire may first be removed when the embryos have hatched from their egg sacs and hang on to the substratum as larvae, while apparently the wriggling of the larvae inhibits their parents from eating them, and therefore they continue taking care of the brood. The breeding pairs are mainly fed with red mosquito larvae bloodworms,